Hi, I'm Roger Conrad, and welcome to another edition of Questions and Answers. Today's round is inspired by two things. One is a question from a reader, and another is a very important industry conference, the Edison Electric Institute's 50th Annual Financial Conference that I'll be attending from November 8th through November 11th. So let's get started. Let's start with a question. And it comes to us from John from New York. And John writes, I've done very well with you over the years, and I've always found you have a deep knowledge and fresh perspective. What's your secret sauce? Well, John, a lot of it is just hard work. I look at financial statements. I look over earnings, a lot of numbers. I talk to people on the phone. I send a lot of emails. But I've also found that to really get a fresh perspective, you got to get out from behind the desk. And that's what this Edison Electric Institute 50th Annual Financial Conference is all about. I'm going to go there. I'm going to ask a lot of hard questions. It's a great forum where you have not only CFOs and CEOs presenting, but you also have a lot of analysts. You have a lot of industry vendors. You have lawyers. You have a real broad mix of people at what is a very exhaustive forum where hard questions are going to get asked and answered. So I have 5 focus areas that I'm going to be delving into at this conference. I'm going to be sharing my findings with my Conrad Utility Investor readers in a special video report. We will also have a lot of follow-up in future issues of Conrad's Utility Investor. Focus area number 1 is going to be basically looking at what the CFOs and CEOs are saying and what kind of commonalities that we're seeing between them. Now, why is this important? Well, you learn a lot about, how companies are reacting to common events. And obviously, electric companies face a lot of challenges in common over time. So, what you can get at from what all these people are saying is how they're reacting to it, and mainly what they consider to be important. And these companies have lots of money, and what they consider to be important tends to get heavily invested in. So this is a big area. A couple of years ago, the big theme was solar energy, and specifically they did a report that forecast big trouble ahead unless companies started to react very quickly. Well, a number of companies have. And in fact, solar energy has become a very big driver of earnings and dividends and share prices. So again, these are the kinds of things that you can get at by listening to the presentations, going to the breakout sessions, looking for commonalities. And that's one of the things I'll be doing at this conference. Focus area number 2 is very closely related to focus area number 1. And mainly I'm going to be looking at themes that I've identified and how companies are reacting to them or getting out in front of them to generate strong investment returns. A couple of these are natural gas. The proliferation of gas, really a dash for gas. We've seen a lot of companies move very quickly from coal-generated power, nuclear-generated power to natural gas. So I'll be definitely looking to see what any kind of insights that I can glean from what the presentations and breakout sessions say on those issues. A number of companies are making acquisitions in gas. Some of the companies are trying to buy gas reserves and put them into rate base. A lot of very interesting things happening there that I'll be looking for at the conference. Solar energy, obviously another big area. Companies, mergers and acquisitions. Again, a number of areas that I've identified. I've been talking a lot about in Conrad's Utility Investor, and I'll be looking for follow-up and new insights at the conference. Okay, so focus area number 3 is new faces. Now, since 2002, we've had a class of executives, regulators, and so forth in this industry that have really been focused on getting back to basics. That is de-risking operations, cutting debt to strengthen balance sheets. But now we're seeing a new influx of talent, if you will. And it's very important what these people do as to how their companies are going to perform in the future. Sometimes you hear a presentation at these conferences and you become very worried about the direction of a company. Sometimes, though, you develop a great degree of confidence. And of course, one thing that I found very useful is to compare what people say one year versus what they've said the previous year. and all these things coming together, giving you an impression of who's running these companies, how well they're doing, and how well they're likely to do. Do you want to bet on them, which is essentially what you do as a shareholder. Okay, so focus area number 4 is really to ferret out companies that I maybe don't have as good a knowledge on as I should. Companies that may be attractive, but I really haven't looked at to date. Maybe they've got a new perspective for me. Maybe they've got some facts or some on operations or moves they're making that I've overlooked. And this is, again, a benefit of going to a conference like this, where you have so many companies presenting. And, utility industry's changed a lot, too. We've seen a number of companies spin out the yieldcos, spin out master limited partnerships. There are a number of small companies that have gotten involved in kind of niche areas of this business, such as energy storage. So I'll be looking at all this kind of stuff, and I'll be uncovering, hopefully, some very strong bargains, both for nice, safe, growing yields, and also for growth and potential long shots as well, which these conferences, again, with so many names, so many presenters, really give you this kind of unique opportunity to take advantage. Focus area number 5 is mergers and acquisitions, and it's a subject I've written on quite a bit in Conrad's Utility Investor. The history of utilities is really a history of mergers in the United States. We've seen literally thousands of these deals take place since the advent of electricity, communications, and so on. And not one of them is broken apart. All of them have created stronger, more financially durable companies and better investments. So, again, you look at these deals, and I'll be going to this conference to look at them in really 3 different ways. One, who are the likely acquirers? Who's talking about, buying assets? 2, who are the most likely targets, and are they willing to hook up with a larger company, or are they trying to build barriers between them and possible takeovers? And then number 3, and probably the most interesting, is the progress of deals that are underway. Utilities have to go through a lot of regulatory hoops to complete a merger, and sometimes these things take a year or 18 months, even longer, to take place. And because they do have to go through so many of these regulatory approvals, and in between time, the price of the target can trade at a huge discount to the ultimate takeout price. Our task as investors is to really handicap the odds of these deals coming off. And if we find a deal where there's a big gap between the takeover price and the current price, we can really make a lot of money. So that's another thing I'll be doing there, is really trying to improve my ability to handicap the odds of these deals going through and share that with Conrad's Utility Investor readers. Okay, so those are some of the themes I'll be looking at this Edison Electric Institute meeting against the 50th financial conference this group has put on. This one promises to be bigger and better than ever before. And I'll be sharing my findings in a special, again, like I said, a special video report for Conrad's Utility Investor readers, as well as throughout the year in regular issues. If you're interested, you can take a look at the information below and give us a call, and we'll be happy to hook you up. Meanwhile, thank you for tuning in, and I'll look forward to the next issue of Questions and Answers in the near future.